Hi, welcome back to another video. You won't believe what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about technique. Dun dun dun. Don't fall off your chair. A lot of people think that I'm not really into technique because I talk a lot about the kind of game of tennis and tactically contextualizing everything. But of course, technique is very, very important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Andy Murray's backhand to show you how I have a three-layered approach to technical development. And the first layer is technical conformity. So that is what you will see splashed all over YouTube. There will be zillions of videos where you will break down to the absolute minutiae detail what happens in the preparation phase, the hitting phase, and the follow through or the recovery phase, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to go into massive detail about that. You can get that somewhere else. What I'm going to talk about more is the second and third layers of my model, which are how you apply the technique. So that is very simply in a tactical context, so maybe a game-based approach. But the typical things that will vary between the model and the applied technique is stance, the execution of the leg mechanics, and slight variations in the size of rotations and the slight variation in the size of the arm mechanics. And of course there could be speed variation within all of those things as well. So what that really relies on is a sound understanding of the incoming ball, what you want to do with the outgoing ball, where you are on the court, where the opponent is, what you want to do with the ball, and then you have to mishmash that all up and be able to adapt to what's going on with the ball. Now, I'll show you some videos of Andy doing this, and he does it extremely well because he is a very creative type player. But some people would watch these techniques and actually think they're wrong, but they're not. He's just applying a fundamental technique to the game. Now, the third layer of technique, which I think someone like an Andy does probably as well, if not better than a vast majority of tennis players on the planet, is that adaptive technique. So that ability to completely adapt based on the extremes of the game. And that is one thing that we tend to forget about, is that our technique is only as good as it is when it stands up to the highest pressure. So if you take something, for example, like a return of a fast serve, say a 140 serve that's coming in, you will in most cases actually see almost just contact point. You will see some crazy situations. I've got one of Andy where he will play a passing shot and it is just pure hand skills, under pressure, out of his body, on the run, all these different things. So those are the three layers. And of course they're all important, but in my opinion, the most important part is how people apply and how people adapt their model of technique dependent on the game, what is coming into them, what they want to go put out to the opponent, where they are on the court, what contact point height, and that is why I'm more game based or think tactically than I do technically. But I have respect biomechanical models, and of course I would want that for my players, but the model is hardly ever applied in its conformed state in the game. As soon as that ball goes in, then you are applying and adapting almost every single shot. The only shot that you could argue which could be played in a model is the serve, because it's a closed skill, you throw the ball up for yourself, but of course you have to apply slight tweaks of techniques to make the ball do different things. So hopefully that clears up what I think about technique. It is important, but it don't mean anything unless you can apply it and adapt under pressure. So hopefully got something from that. If you want to see any more of these types of videos, I'm relying on your questions coming in, so write them below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll do these more and more often if there's a demand for them. Until then, take care.